Hello and welcome to another Division 2 video. In this video I'm gonna show you the most viable build and the best build in my opinion at the moment in the Division 2 expansion Worlds of New York. Gear 2.0 you can use, and yeah, especially if you play solo, this is really an awesome build and the best clutch version you can get with a really decent self-heal, pretty good damage, pretty tanky, and yeah, I'll present you this build in this video. Further on I will just give you a brief overview at the beginning, and if you don't want to listen to it and watch at the bottom, then you can see the point where you can jump right into the build video right at the bottom, or otherwise in the description are the timestamps as well. So after the short overview over my current loadout, I will present you the build in detail, and for me, as I said, really the best version or the best build at the moment, the most viable one. It's viable for PvE, it's viable for PvP. I did really well with this build in PvP, so I was fighting sometimes against 4 guys. And yeah, I won the fight against these 4 guys. For sure, if they're coordinated, if they have good builds, then you don't have a chance. If they play somehow decent together. But as I said, I can handle my ass pretty well if I were this build. So that's why I really like it. The best gear set, the best healing, much better than clutch. But yeah, you will see it later. As I said before, I just give you a brief overview over the loadout and the builds I use right now. I showed you my tactician builds already in a previous video. And if you want to see another build, just let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, many people and many YouTubers just run around with high damage builds, high crit, high red stats build, pretty squishy ones. And for me personally, this doesn't suit my playstyle too much. I have one as well, but especially if you play solo, I like to have more survivability. And yeah, that's why I don't like it too much, the current meta, I would say, from many players, and I don't know if many randoms try to use it as well, because if I watch the armor bars from some randoms in missions and the Dark Zone, they're all really low, they're all pretty squishy, and they're all pretty often on the floor, but that's another topic. So let's have a brief overview over my builds. The first one, this is the starter build, I would say, so the first one I created, and as you can see, it's 1.6 million armor, 280k health, so I spec nothing into health, and it's based on armor and LMGs. Yeah, I do really still like playing with LMGs, and that's the base of this one, and it's a good mix in my opinion for blue main attributes and 2 red ones, to have somehow decent damage as well against NPCs and with the gunner. To talk about this already right now, specializations for me personally, they're just 2 really viable ones. Probably 3, but 2 they're really good. The first one you can see here, it's Gunner. And the Gunner has really good talents. First of all, armor on kill is really nice to have. Then the fire rate, if you get a kill, the armor kits are pretty cool as well. Because if you get 50% over armor, or what's it called? Yeah, you get more armor, the blue stats, when you use an armor kit, so they're really decent, and especially for sure if you use an LMG and MG5, then the 50 rounds magazine for it, so you have a lot of benefits in my opinion with the gunner. And even the pulse here is a really cool item as well for PvP too, because no one has 100% hazard protection anymore, like the meta in the version before, or before Gear 2.0 dropped. And the second specialization for technician builds for me as well is technician. Specialization is one of the best ones, and the other one for me, the firewall, because they nerfed all the weapons, and you can see it on this one here as well. So reduced damage against named enemies on all of them. And in my opinion, they nerfed it too much. So for me personally, the specialization weapons are pretty much useless right now. So that's why it's no decision anymore to go for one of them. And you don't have Clutch Berserk anymore, so you don't need the insta reload anymore, and if your armor is depleted, then you're on the floor anyway. So this is not the best one to go. But all in all, for sure, it would be the strongest one. The one here, the grenade launcher, but as I said, it doesn't matter too much. So for me, definitely technician build, this one here, then the gunner, and the one here, because of the benefits you get from them. And the shield is pretty cool for sure, from this specialization here too. So this is it for the specialization. The first one I have here, this 2 I presented you already. Then the third one, it's based on, as you can see, that's my version of a high damage build. so a lot of red stats, but even here I have over 1 million armor, and as I said before, I just like to have a little more survivability. This is one version, I have another version as well, so this is a little more for PvP, to be a little more tanky here. And yeah, I still have 450k damage, it's not too bad. Then let's continue. The sharpshooter, it's based on the SMG, it's 1.6 million as well. And based on this baby here, the CMMG Benji, pretty cool gun, pretty good rolls, I'm really happy with this. This is one of them, and here I tried to use the Galvanize compared with the Intimidate, because the Intimidate is a huge damage modifier with multiplicative damage, 35%, really a high amount of damage, but just within 10 meters. But it's a specially PvP build, and even almost on console at least, most PvP fights are closer than 10 meters. And yeah, that's the advantage from the gunner. With the Banshee Pulse, you can activate Galvanize here. You have bonus armor. With 1.6 million, it's quite a lot. And then you can start the fight just using Banshee Pulse, run towards the enemy, and you have 30% more damage. So that's the quick look behind this build. Then I was testing out some stuff with ongoing directive as well, as you can see here. Then I have my favorite build, the one I present you in this video here, True Patriot. So this is a glance of it. Then I have another version as well. It's not the most important one. A different version from True Patriot than Tip of a Spear. That was more to try out the bug, which is still working in the DC actually. So if you get shot by a special ammo, then it's because of Tip of a Spear in the Dark Zone. It's not really tested out, I guess, from these guys. And the last one is my high damage build with the rifle here. I focused this one on the rifle. As you can see, it's 18 red stats, just 2 yellow, because I was not able to get this red, but otherwise for sure it would be 20 red stats if I would be lucky enough to get all the right pieces. It's a pretty squishy build, but as you can see, 550k armor, 550k damage, I mean, and it's almost 60% crit chance and almost 140% crit damage with the rifle. So it's really a high damage build. And 726k, it's not even that bad. Armor, but because of the chest talent here, glass cannon, it's for sure squishier than others. So this is just a brief overview over the current loadout I have right now with the build, and for sure everything is not maxed out. I would like to have different pieces here as well, but I can let you know if you're interested in one of them. But for this video, let's get right into it in the best build in my opinion, or the most viable one, and this is the one here. And it's True Patriot. Yeah, True Patriot is really an awesome build, as I said, especially if you run solo as well, because of the talents, or the talent from True Patriot, the 4-piece one. And here especially the white one, meaning shooting the enemy repairs you and your allies' armor by 5% once every second. And I guess even this one is bugged, because I think if the allies shoot it, it doesn't work. I heard it, I'm not quite sure. But it might be, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And then I guess you know True Patriot from the previous patch, that's why I don't gonna talk too much about this. And for sure, especially if you run solo and if you run with the modifiers or the directives active, then the first 2 and 3 piece bonus are really awesome as well. So 30% ammo capacity and 30% magazine size, really cool. As an example, with my favorite gun with this build, the Pestilence, you have 130 rounds instead of 100. That's a really cool feature in my opinion. So this is just, in my opinion, really the best build at the moment. Let's get a look at the stats attributes on my setup. As you can see, the mask is armor, then the attribute is weapon handling. Honestly, I guess I would like to have headshot damage, so it's not a crit focus build, so that's why I would like to have straight damage here. But yeah, I was not lucky enough yet to get one, and survivability was more important. If you play with LMGs, weapon handling is not too bad. It increases the reload speed and the accuracy and stuff like this, so it's actually not too bad, especially if you play with LMGs. Then the mod you can see for PvE, it's protection from elites. Even in the Dark Zone, it's not too bad to have protection from elites. If you fight some players and other NPCs shoot you in the back, then this comes pretty in handy. So this is the mask. Then the backpack is True Patriot as well, and especially for me, backpack is more important than the chest from True Patriot, because the talent from the backpack is increases red, white and blue debuff strengths from 8 to 12, from 5 to 8 and from 8 to 12 as well. Means you get 8% from your armor each second back. And if you know the Pestilence, to say this right away, the Pestilence deals damage over time. So let's get straight to this gun here. Hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. And this talent is so freaking strong, trust me. I don't miss the gas or the cloud at all from Pestilence. This is so much stronger. And even in PvP, yeah, for sure, the base damage is not too high, but with this talent here, this is so awesome. I really like it. So you apply the debuff from True Patriot, and you apply the debuff as well from the Plague of Outcast, from the Pestilence. This setup or this combination is just awesome. And I guess, I'm pretty sure if they get damage over time from the debuff from the Pestilence, you get armor back as well, so the white flag counts there too. So you don't even have to shoot the enemy or use the drone, then it works too, and you get your armor back. So that's why the survivability with this build is so awesome, and especially in combination with the Pestilence. So I do really recommend you to use the Pesty with this build. And as you can see here, armor again, weapon handling again, and protection from elites, so nothing too special. Then the gloves are True Patriot 2. I have weapon handling here too. I started it already, so my weapon handling is pretty high on this build, but as I said, it increases the reload speed as well. And if you use the Pesty, for sure, the LMGs usually have a pretty long reload, except the Bullet King for sure. And yeah, it's not the worst set, but otherwise, if you want to have more damage, then I personally would go for headshot damage and not crit, because you don't reach that high amount of crits with this build. Then the knees, they're really godful, I would say, and yes, here I got crit damage, but that's the reason why I use this for more than one build, and for a crit build as well, so that's why I haven't changed here anything. And they're so good, so I'm pretty happy with these ones here. Then the holster, again armor, and here I do have headshot damage as an example, so increase the headshot damage a little more. And as I said, I would probably try out headshot here as well, to have even higher damage. For sure in PvP it's a little harder to hit the head, but in PvE it works pretty well. The chest piece, it's the exo chest. If I use this build in a group, this is for sure one of the best ones you can have in my opinion. It increases the survivability of the whole group. That's why I do like this really a lot. And yeah, I guess I can even reroll one stat here. And oh no, you can't reroll a stat on exotics. That's pretty stupid in my opinion, but anyway, it is what it is. And for a group setup, this is really awesome to use for sure. Then I talked already about the pieces, and I know you know the chest talent, so it's pretty much like Unbreakable, but for your teammates as well. That's the talent here, and then the guns, I talked about this already as well. The sidearm I barely use with this build, and yeah, the secondary I use a pretty decent P16 Sadist, it's pretty cool. Then I usually change in PvP my Seeker out for the one here, the Explosive Seeker, which applies bleed, and then I do quite a lot more damage with my AR. But it's my secondary, my backup if I run out of bullets, so that's the main reason. So this is the group version, and if I play solo, I change to this one here. And as you can see, the only difference is the chest piece. And the focus on this build is repair skills. And repair skills works with the talent from True Patriot as well. And that's pretty insane. So if you have more repair skills, then you get even higher armor back, and it increases your survivability even more. So this is my solo version, and for sure this doesn't work too good if you work or play solo. Then Unbreakable is better. The only advantage you have here, the cooldown is a little shorter, but otherwise I would recommend you to to use an unbreakable piece. And yeah, it's not too important, I guess, which brand. The best one would be for sure the if you get a Gila guard, because you get 5% bonus armor. That would be even better, but I was not lucky enough. That's why I'm using this one here. And yes, I know the first one is a little useless, not all the time, because if I use the pulse, Banshee pulse, then for sure it works with status effects as well. So then it would come in handy with this. But as I said, this is pretty much the main difference, and the focus here, I don't have weapon handling, I have repair skills wherever possible, and this is the setup I use for PvP as well. And as I said, it works really well with the 1.6 million. Even the high damage builds or the rifle builds, for sure you have to take care a little, but the damage over time from the Pestilence, as I said, you have to hit them a couple times, and if they go behind cover, they still take damage from your shots. That makes this build so insane. So I guess I don't have to talk about the guns anymore and the skills. As you can see, and this in my opinion is really the best build at the moment if you play solo, especially if you play solo, but for a group as well with the debuffs. And yeah, for me personally, the best build right now. One thing I forgot to mention before, for sure, this would be the skill build. I thought I had a skill build, the shield build. I tried it out as well, and it works pretty good too. And especially because of this one here, 21 pistol damage plus 20. So 41% pistol damage means I do around 330k damage on the Dice Ross, or if I would get the Exo, or this one here, the Eagle, then it's even more. So pretty much 400k with a pistol, but as I said, I'm still looking for a better pistol here, and most likely the exotic one. So this is the one I'm figuring out right now as well. And yeah, this is it for this video. I do really hope it was useful for you, and for sure, one thing I tried to test is as well the new brand set we got. What's it called? You know it better, for sure, but you get a lot of armor on kill, and this is something I would have in mind to test as well. As I said, if you want to see one other build in detail, or you would like to have other guides to missions, to do heroic missions for strategies whatsoever, just let me know. To like to get them, if possible, to you as fast as possible. And otherwise, I do really hope this video was useful for you. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.